Our exclusive People cover story, getting personal with Tim McGraw and Faith Hill.
We go inside the country power couple's family, faith, and flirting.
Eva Longoria welcomes her first child, an adorable baby boy.
You're just shoveling pasta and butter into one of them's mouth while you're trying to eat yours.
James Corden gets real about the hilarious amount of effort it takes to get his kids out to lunch.
Bryce Howard and her dad, Ron Howard, opening up about what it would take to get him back in front of the camera.
And Instagram superstar Manny the Frenchie is here live.
Love that pooch. It is all today on People Now. Let's go. Happy Hump Day, everybody. Welcome to People Now. We're very excited to have you here. There's a big show today. And definitely, I don't know, something fishy about the lovely afternoon air here today.
I'm thinking you're saying that because it's the 43rd anniversary of the premiere of Jaws.
There's a subtle allusion to that.
I know.
That's right.
Jaws debuted on this day in 1975 and received major applause for its incredible directing by Steven Spielberg. On that note, we want to know what is your favorite throwback Steven Spielberg film? Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T., maybe even the classic Saving Private Ryan.
I don't know. There's a lot to choose from. You can let us know by voting in our People Now poll on Twitter or just tweet us your favorite throwback film directed by Steven Spielberg with the hashtag People Now. We're all in. We want to celebrate.
We're
Let's
all
do
in
it.
today.
We're excited to get those results. First, though, here's what you need to know and what's trending for today. Los Angeles police were called to break up an impromptu memorial for XXXTENTACION on Tuesday night as thousands gathered on the streets of West Hollywood to mourn the late rapper. The LA Times estimates that upwards of 1,000 people were in attendance at the event, which did not have the required permits and was publicized on social media hours before it began. Now, photos and video from the scene show crowds blocking traffic and mosh pits in the streets breaking out. One bystander even shared video of people standing on rooftops and jumping off to the chants of "Jump for X" coming from the crowds below. Now, mourners could also be seen climbing on top of vehicles, riding them through the streets. Officers were first called to the scene around 7:20 p.m., but authorities didn't begin to break things up until shortly after 9. The Times reported that the scene was cleared by 10:15 p.m. And a rep for the LAPD told the Times that officers were authorized to use tear gas to disperse that crowd, but instead shot beanbags to break things up. One officer was hit by a rock in the chaos while an ambulance was called to treat a 20-year-old attendee with cuts on their head. No arrests were made. XXXTENTACION was born Jesse Onfroy was shot dead in his home state of Florida on Monday as he was leaving a motorcycle dealership. The 20-year-old saw national success as a rapper as well as several high-profile run-ins with the law, including allegations he assaulted his pregnant ex-girlfriend. More details on People.com. This heartbreaking and now viral photograph of a 2-year-old girl crying at the U.S. border is quickly becoming the symbol of President Trump's zero-tolerance immigration policy, which is resulting in the separation of immigrant families. The photo was taken last week in the Rio Grande Valley as the young Honduran girl watched on as her mother was searched by a U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent. Now, the father of the 2-year-old spoke to CNN about the photo, saying, quote, "My heart broke because it's my little girl." He went on to say, "She didn't deserve that situation. It breaks my heart." According to CNN, a spokesman for the U.S. Customs and Border Protection said that the girl and her mother were not separated, but further details were unavailable at the time. On Tuesday, Steve Cortes, an advisor to Donald Trump, spoke out about undocumented migrants. Take a look at this clip of what he said.
These immigrants, and I am an immigrant, and I am a mother, and I come from a...
They're not immigrants. They're invaders. They're not immigrants.
Let me finish.
They're not immigrants. They are invaders. When you come here without permission,
I did not interrupt you.
You're an invader.
They are immigrants.
Invaders?
They are immigrants, okay?
Wow.
Steve,
when you come here without permission, you are an invader.
CNN News anchor Aaron Burnett, Maria Cardona, obviously very upset over his invader statement. Now, Donald Trump tweeted Wednesday morning about the immigration policy saying, quote, "It's the Democrats' fault. They won't give us the votes needed to pass good immigration legislation. They want open borders, which breeds horrible crime. Republicans want security, but I am working on something. It never ends." That was his quote, and you can stay on People.com as this story continues to develop. Well, guys, on the cover of this week's People, we're celebrating our favorite country music love story, Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. After 2 decades of wedded bliss, country's longest reigning power couple is proving they can still make the sparks fly. Their love dates all the way back to 1996 when Tim asked Faith to marry him just before taking the stage at a music festival. He came back to find her answer, yes, written on his dressing room mirror. Now, Tim says back then, quote, "We were young and silly and goo-goo-eyed in love." And even though Faith admits a lot has definitely changed since those early years, Tim says they still feel, quote, grossly in love even today. As in most marriages, there have been challenges along along the way. Faith has told People, quote, "We're both human beings. It's not always peachy and rosy. Sometimes we don't get along." But they've got a few tricks up their sleeve, guys, to keep their relationship strong. Faith says they always share a quiet moment of prayer before a performance together, and that laughter is their go-to way of getting through any bickering or any fighting. And at the end of the day, Faith says this, quote, "I think you've got to really like the person you're with, and he has to be the one that you want to hang out with more than anybody else." Great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Tim and Faith's 3 daughters, Gracie, Maggie, and Audrey, range in age from 16 to 21 now, which means the lovebirds are bracing for quite the empty nest in just a few short years. Something tells us, though, life for mom and dad will be anything but boring. Tim is known for pulling out all the stops for Faith. I mean, it doesn't get any better than a surprise birthday party on a yacht in Greece. No big deal. A trip that he whipped up for her big 4-0. But mostly, they're focused on finding joy in the little things these days. Tim told People this. He said, as we get older, it's less about the big gestures and more about spending time together at home. For our 20th wedding anniversary, we stayed in our pajamas and watched TV. It was very low-key, and we loved it. And I really love that. I like that too. A good quality time. All right, guys, it's been a big summer already for the Howard family, with Dad Ron's film Solo shaking up the box office, and then Bryce Dallas Howard taking on dinosaurs in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. It's out this Friday, people. You should check it out. Now, People just sat down with the famous duo and asked if Ron would ever go back to his roots in front of the camera, and here's what he said.
Now that Cheryl and I are empty nesters, you know, maybe one of these days I would take the leap and do some acting again. But the only thing I would make time for, away from my directing and producing schedule, to act in would be something that Bryce was directing. So maybe one of these days. And you know, I'm kind of secretly curious, you know, how tough of a taskmaster would she be on old Dad? I don't know. You know, I'm a little fearful, but I'm curious.
Ron also spoke about sharing his films with the next generation. Bryce's son Theo, who just saw Apollo 13 for the very first time, saying, "I could tell he really liked it, and that meant the world to me." Of course, we had to ask if there was any chance of seeing Bryce and her lookalike Jessica Chastain side by side anytime soon. That was the burning question, and here's what they told us.
I think it's a hell of an idea, but why not throw in Amy Adams and Isla Fisher? They all look like they could be ours, coming from me and Cheryl. And they're all super talented, so wouldn't that be something?
I love that they're so
I could
down.
watch them together forever.
Honestly,
I'd
it's
be
true.
happy.
Yeah, like they in that interview, they made people like tear up. They made people
I
laugh.
know.
Very wholesome, the whole thing. All right, more for us in Star Trek.
Yes, we are kicking off Star Trek with some very special baby news. Always love some good baby news, you guys. He is finally here. Eva Longoria welcomed her first child with husband Jose Bastón on Tuesday. The actress confirmed the happy news to Hola magazine. The outlet reporting the baby arrived at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in LA and weighed in at 6 pounds, 13 ounces. The little boy, named Santiago Enrique, is the first for the Desperate Housewives star, but will also have some older sibling guidance, joining Jose's 3 other children from a previous marriage. The happy couple shared they were, quote, so grateful for this beautiful blessing. Now, back in April, Eva told People she was overwhelmed with emotion ahead of her labor, saying, I'm excited but nervous. Nervous, excited, emotional. We love it and very happy for them. All right, Priyanka Chopra is everywhere this summer, from rocking a fascinator at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's royal wedding in May to getting cozy with a new boo, Nick Jonas. In this week's People, the former Miss World opens up about saying goodbye to her role on ABC's hit show Quantico. Now, she hopes the show has been a force for change, saying, quote, people need to write more parts where your ethnicity doesn't define you. In the interview, Chopra also reveals where she'd ideally like to see herself in 10 years, telling people, in 10 years, I definitely want to have kids, hopefully earlier than that. I'm very fond of children, and I want to do that. I was gonna say, I would love to see the very fashionable Priyanka pregnant and glowing. I bet she would rock maternity wear like no one else has ever had before.
For sure.
Yes, and those are your Star Treks for today.
Stay with us, guys. The hilarious Mike Myers is opening up about fatherhood and why he took a 6-year break from Hollywood. Plus, Instagram star Manny, the Frenchie, joins us live. You do not want to miss all the adorable doggy moments to come. We're so pumped to have Manny here.
I've never been more excited for a guest. I'm so excited for Manny.
I'm agreed.
Let's check in on our question of the day. We've been asking about your favorite throwback Steven Spielberg film.
All right, so obviously there are a lot to choose from. There's Jaws, there's many others. So we've got the poll going. Jurassic Park leading the way. I'm not surprised. We're in this ramping up for the new movie.
Okay, but E.T. is right behind.
Yeah, Jaws a little bit third.
I mean, they're all pretty epic.
Saving Private Ryan is really disappointing right now. Guys, can we just rally behind Saving Private Ryan?
I'm not just saying this because it's, you know, in not winning right now, but that's actually one of my favorite movies.
Saving Private Ryan?
Yeah, so I want all the Saving Private Ryan fans to go get on Twitter and vote. Because,
vote for Saving Private Ryan. Here's the deal. the thing about Steven Spielberg. Here it is, guys. Spielberg is so great because he's got everything, the full gamut, from the really fun popcorn movies like Jurassic Park, like Jaws and whatever, and then the really hefty drama, cinematic
the war
things.
movies.
Yeah.
I know. Right, get on
We can talk about this all day, but we won't. Guys, keep taking our Steven Spielberg film poll, but now we move on to this.
Yes. James Corden is turning 40 this summer, and the late-night host opened up to People's Just Kegel in a new interview about his career, family, and everything in between.
Yep, Corden reflected on the adorable moment that he knew he wanted to be a performer at his sister's christening, and even dished on the amazing success of his carpool karaoke.
Yeah, and we all love those videos. And when it comes to his family, James gets real about meeting his wife, Julia Carey, and how he knew that she was the one, saying that on the night that they met, they sat in the corner and, quote, very jokingly planned out the rest of our lives together. That's very cute, because it started as a joke, and then it just became real life.
It's sweet or it's creepy. I'm glad that it became
Yeah,
sweet.
you're right. Two ways.
Now they're raising 3 kids together, and in the interview, Corden hilariously details how much effort it takes to just kind of take his kids out to lunch. Watch this.
I got back from Liverpool on Sunday, and we thought, let's take the kids out, let's go for lunch. I mean, it's a joke. We actually went to a place at the end of our road and for lunch, and we looked like we were fleeing a country, like we had that much stuff. It's absurd. I understand now why my parents just used to not do anything with us on a weekend, because it's too much hassle. The bags and the stroller and the baby here, and there's wipes everywhere and Sudocrem, and she's got a sore bum. You're sitting down to eat. You're asking for the check before you've sat down.
Yeah.
You're just shoveling pasta and butter into one of them's mouth, or you're trying to eat yours. You have to leave a huge tip because the place is covered in crayons.
And
the day in the life for me,
And of course, James dished on his pal Prince Harry, saying that their friendship developed because the two were, quote, out and about at the same places in London.
James and his wife attended the royal wedding together. How can we forget? Corden used this interview to address the rumors that he dressed up as Henry VIII for the post-wedding dinner. Watch.
Harry asked if I would do like a performance of some kind. And so I did it, yeah. It wasn't really dressed as Henry VIII, it was just dressed in a kind of Tudor outfit. But I guess I look a bit like Henry VIII, so that's probably why. But yeah.
I think you see somebody in that Tudor outfit, and you just assume it's Henry VIII.
Well, particularly if you look like me.
He's hilarious. You guys can watch the full James Corden interview streaming on PeopleTV. Go check
him.
that out.
We'll definitely check that out. All right, guys, let's go on to this. You know him from Shrek, Wayne's World, Austin Powers, and lots more. Funny man Mike Myers basically has it all.
Yeah, and he's now making a comeback. This is very exciting. The 55-year-old comedian opened up to people about his 6-year break from the spotlight, explaining, quote, I always wanted to have a family. I have 3 beautiful kids. I can't believe my luck.
Myers goes on to add that it's been the happiest time of his life. He notes that it's hard to leave the house while hanging out with his kids, who are apparently his biggest fans.
Yeah, I know. The proud dad tells a story about watching Austin Powers with his 6-year-old son, Spike, for the very first time, revealing, quote, it was one of those crazy summer rains and we were snuggled under a blanket. Spike whispers, can I tell you a secret? I'm your #1 fan. I literally couldn't handle it. I'm your #1 fan. I mean, stick a fork in me, dude. I'm done.
That's how he puts it. I love it. I can hear him
so
saying
cute.
it, basically. Talk about I mean, it really is the cutest story ever. And you can catch Mike Myers in ABC's Gong Show Revival. Season 2 premieres tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be watching.
I know, it's very exciting. Well, Aussie actor Simon Baker is opening up about his humble roots, TV stardom, and his marriage of almost 20 years to actress Rebecca Rigg in this week's People.
In the interview out Friday, the actor best known for his hit show The Mentalist revealed that he and his wife don't believe in celebrating anniversaries, even though the big 20-year is quickly approaching. Here's what he said.
Anniversaries, they're an odd thing, aren't they? Like I have some friends that are very strict about anniversaries of everything, and you know, I just we've never really been that big on it. You know, there was one year I think that we went out to dinner, and you know, I bought a sort of a gift, and we had an argument. Because I think we put too much pressure on it. It's not like that with us. It's sort of, you know, we're a team, and we're, you know, most of the time, 99% of the time, we're really great friends. So I think in our relationship, anytime we sort of, if we're not spontaneous, when we put too much pressure on something, it sort of, everything kind of gets a little sort of clipped and we don't feel like we're ourselves. And I think the most important thing in our relationship is that we're both able to be ourselves as much. I think that's probably the most important thing in most relationships, isn't it?
Okay, so he's a little chill about anniversaries.
But the thing, it's always like the gifting actually creates fights for them.
I know.
So the opposite.
Yeah,
All
maybe
right,
just don't celebrate anniversaries. Of course, Baker hasn't taken a break from acting, but he is exploring his passion for directing in his first feature film, Breathe.
The coming-of-age surfing drama, which hits close to home for the Aussie who grew up in a small surf town and saw waves as kind of an escape.
Yeah, he told people he wanted to put two things that he loves together, surfing and filmmaking.
Sounds like a dream come true.
It does, really.
Days on the set at the beach. Baker says that he was nervous to take on the role of director, but his wife had some interesting words of encouragement for him.
She said, look, honey, there's so many crap films made these days. So what if yours is just another one? Just go and make it. But the truth is, it did relieve this pressure that I would put on myself, you know, and she's pretty great at kind of taking the piss out of me and supporting me at the same time, which is a real skill.
Look, Simon Baker, he's a charmer. One of my good friends in
Yeah.
LA was his fill-in, like his double during The Mentalist.
Oh, really?
And he would actually be on set and he would see him interact, says he's a great actor, all of that. But one of the coolest things about it was that this dude looked so much like him that he would be mistaken for him out in public. And so based on his experiences, I would just tell you, the ladies love Simon Baker.
Oh yeah, I mean,
No
from
surprise
that,
about
also
it.
from that interview alone, I would totally want him to direct me because he's so chill.
Yeah, no, he does seem very laid back. Like, I'm sure he brings like a very comfortable vibe.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm just vibing out, surfing on
Maybe
set.
maybe too chill.
No, yeah.
We gotta get something done. All right, let's move on to this. When Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom star Daniella Pineda stopped by People Now, she could not stop gushing about her co-star Chris Pratt. Here's a little snippet of that.
He makes everyone feel at home. He's super, super goofy. He's the one that has to be reminded, like, okay, we got to get back to it, because he just wants to have a good time.
Yeah.
He's like a 24/7 fun party. I love that guy.
That's cool.
But it turns out Daniella's Jurassic World character Zia would probably be a little less into Chris's character Owen because she's actually gay.
Surprise, everybody!
Yeah.
Daniella revealed in a recent interview with the Build series that Zia, who is a paleo veterinarian, joining Owen Grady on his dangerous dino mission, actually reveals to Owen that she doesn't date men in a scene that was eventually cut from the movie.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't cut because I want to know that. They're still getting to know each other at that point in the film when Zia looks at Owen and says this, quote, "I don't date men, but if I did, it would be you. It would gross me out, but I do it."
But now, in the interview, Daniella goes on to laugh at the idea that she's looking at Chris Pratt, who she calls the hottest guy in the world, and then saying that, you know, it would gross her out to date him. Couldn't be further from the truth.
Takes some acting skills there. She also calls the scene cool because it gives a little more insight into who her character really is.
And maybe we'll get the cutscene on the DVD special features. A lot of times they do that, but either way, we'll be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Now watch this.
Craziness. Maybe even a little bit of grossness. We talk
Okay.
about everything.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would not talk about?
No.
Yeah, I think that's true with you,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's just kind of all out there.
Sex, pooping, shopping, I mean, just everything.
Yeah, there you go. I guess that just about covers it. Bachelor Nation standout Corinne Olympios clearly has no problem letting the world know what she thinks. So it makes sense that her new podcast, So Random, does exactly the same thing.
Yeah, the girl does not hold back at all. Now, Corinne is also the new face of the clothing brand Riot Society, so a lot has been happening since her Bachelor days.
Yeah, and since she's pretty much as honest as they come, we wanted to ask her about some of today's most buzzworthy makeups and breakups. Take it away, Corinne. What are your thoughts on Khloe and Tristan still together after Tristan's cheating scandal?
I think that everybody deserves, you know, to get a second chance and explain themselves. And I mean, from what it looked like, it was really horrible and really bad timing, really sucks. But, you know, there's a lot that happens behind closed doors and in a relationship that we don't know about, and they may have their reasons and things going on, and they just had a child together.
Happy 1 month old, mama.
Would you take someone back if they cheated on you?
No, I mean,
It's tough, right?
Depends on the situation.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like such a typical girl. I'm like, okay, fine, don't do it again. I'm a good person.
Sophia Richie and Scott Disick breakup rumor. So apparently,
No, they didn't break up. I totally don't believe it.
I'm just not happy with anybody.
Ashley and Jared's whirlwind romance, from friends to lovers.
can't even.
I just think they're milking it a little bit.
Okay. You could say that.
I would tell her that. I
Yeah.
would never say anything bad behind her back. I literally love her. I think she is great. And I'm always gonna say what I feel. And if I didn't say what I feel, I wouldn't be Corinne, so.
My heart is gold, but my vagine is platinum.
Do you think those two will go the distance together?
Oh, absolutely. At the rate they're going, 100%. They're not letting this go.
All right.
How can you not love this?
Ari and Lauren already have a wedding date. What do we think?
Do they really?
Yep, we hear.
Oh my God, seriously, I can't with them. I really can't with them. That whole thing is literally insane to me. The fact that she even like said yeah and still wanted to be with him after, God bless her. Goodbye, walk into the sunset, see you later.
All right, guys, the moment is finally upon us. We are joined by Instagram sensation Manny, the Frenchie, his mom Amber. Thank you so much for being here. Okay,
Look at him.
How does he know where the camera is? Wait, maybe he does.
Oh, wow. He knows where it is, and he's ready
He sees himself, so he's
ready to
trying to
take
look at
that
the
dog
monitors.
on, and it's him. Look at him. Running this
Thank
show.
you so much for joining us.
Oh, mama.
Manny, come
Well,
that's amazing.
and maybe he'll come back. We'll find out. But either way, we're starstruck by him. We've been gushing over Manny the whole morning. 1.1 million followers on Instagram. When did you know that you had this puppy superstar? Because a lot of pups try to be stars on Instagram.
I mean, he's obviously been super cute since he was little, and he was kind of like a firstborn where you just always are taking pictures and videos. And you can see he's got star power. He's always had it.
And he just sees
He
himself.
sees himself in the monitor.
Hey, Manny on the street.
Manny,
You wanna come
Manny, you want to come back?
Oh, there, look at that.
Okay, so does he get recognized on the street? I mean, does he realize he's being recognized? What is it? Talk me through that process.
I mean, he definitely loves attention.
I think he's got the swagger that says, I'm aware I'm a star.
Yes, a little
And if anyone challenges me, including myself in a monitor,
I mean, I can't believe it. It's
let's talk about the perks that come along with, being insta-famous as a pup, and
Yeah.
for you as pup's mom.
I mean, he definitely takes us to some really cool places, and we get to meet some cool people.
Celebs?
We have met some
Yeah.
celebs, yeah. Manny's favorite was probably Snoop Dogg.
Oh,
Yeah,
how'd that go?
about that.
Yeah, I mean, we got to meet him. He came to Chicago for a festival and said, hey, Manny, come to my trailer. I want to meet you.
Oh, yeah? So you got to go to Snoop's trailer?
Yeah. So we got to meet him.
Oh, there he
yeah,
is.
there you go.
There we go.
He's got a Frenchie himself.
Okay.
Or at least I know he did. And he was just really sweet with him. It was really cute.
Does the celebrity get to Manny's head at all, like the whole world?
I don't think he quite understands. Maybe when a special package arrives.
I disagree. He 100% knows it. Did you see that? French Bulldogs, I mean, they're so great. They've got these incredible looks and personalities. They've also got these little quirks, right? Like they can kind of be quirky dogs. Is there a quirk about Manny that maybe we don't know from following him religiously on Instagram?
He has, yeah, probably two. He likes to sleep in the sink, which he's done since
What?
he was a pup.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, the kitchen sink?
Yeah, bathroom
sink?
sink. Bathroom
Okay.
sink. He was just, little rambunctious puppy on my feet, and I was just kind of put him on the counter one day to get him out of the way, and he climbed right into the sink. And
So now he loves
So
it.
to this day, he sleeps
Yeah,
in the
he'll
sink.
if I go in there to get my makeup on or do whatever, he'll scratch at the counter and ask me to put him in there.
Oh my God.
And then he also does this Frenchie talk. So he does like this yapping, like barking, kind of dinosaur yelp type of thing.
Almost a word, but not.
Yeah, no.
We were talking about that a little bit just before you came on. Like what I've been doing embarrassingly all morning is like the dog talk. He walks in, he just immediately, all that stuff.
I'm sure he loves it.
You're saying that you do it all the time, and sometimes it might be embarrassing in the airport.
Yes, a little bit. I have to, obviously, when I travel alone, bring him in the restroom with me, and I do call him a good boy the entire time. So I hope people know that.
I also
Talking to
love
my
that-
dog.
I love that he feels so relaxed here that he's falling asleep. It's great.
Well, he claimed the territory. He knows there's no one to challenge him.
Goodbye, Manny. For dog owners who are trying to get the perfect picture of their pet, or actually trying to have them be Insta famous as well, what makes a great pet photo, and how do you get that start?
Well, you have to just obsessively take photos of your dog. He's obviously super cute, so if he's doing, like right now, he's doing something really cute, I will just get very close. Obviously, having a good phone helps with a good camera. But, I mean, I try to capture and be, himself. So,
yeah, when you were starting out, did you do a lot of hashtagging, or what was the way? Because you have a huge phone.
yeah, I mean, we didn't try to get him famous, so I wish I had, like, the 5 tips
kinda
of how to
have
get your dog famous. It really just, like I said, take video and pictures constantly. Don't force them to do anything they don't want to do. If they're not into it, if they don't want to dress up, if they don't want to go here or there, don't make them do.
This is his favorite part. It's like he plays dead.
Kind of
Yeah.
legs raised. Okay.
I think he's waiting for the next person to come rub his belly.
Yeah, I think so. Is it? Can I get him and bring him over here? But while we're doing that, let's talk about the dog flu.
Yeah,
and
we'd love to keep our pets healthy. Obviously, it's important to keep them safe. What can you tell us about the dog flu that we've been hearing about recently?
So it's obviously.
Manny's like, I don't know about this, pal. Okay.
So canine respiratory infection, kind of like you would to humans, right? They get it you get the human influenza. Well, they have a canine influenza, and there's 2 main strains. One more recent. So yeah, the dog flu is something very.
Pervasive kind of right now?
Yeah, like right now, especially in New York. Yes, it's very, very popular. It's spreading. It's something that you want to be conscious of. And there's a vaccine for it too, so you definitely want to look into that and see if your dog. I mean, all dogs are social, so you really should think about vaccinating them.
All right.
Where can people get more information on
well,
that?
dogflu.com is kind of your one-stop shop for all resources, any questions you might have, stats on the dog flu. Where you can find a vet that can administer the vaccination. So yeah, you definitely want to check that out.
And I want to know, because I love Frenchies and I someday want to get one. Do you recommend Frenchies? You were saying that they're a lot of work.
They are. I love them to death. Please don't get me wrong, but it's like having a child. So if you're ready for that, yes. They're very good city dogs because they're, Bulldog breed, so they're small and they can be lazy. You've got to be very careful in the heat for sure with any flat-faced dog.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite quirk or like personality trait that Manny has?
Probably the talking. When he does it randomly, like in the morning, he's asking for his breakfast. It's got to be the cutest thing.
Ooh, little kisses. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I feel like this dog can't go down the street. My gosh, you're not even getting out of this office.
It does take quite a few minutes to get places. So
here's the biggest question: has Manny met other celeb Insta dogs?
He's met a couple of them, yeah.
The dogs? Other
we met Marnie from New York.
Oh, yeah, we met Marnie.
He's the sweetest. Yeah, we met.
Oh my gosh, so
And how does he do with other dogs?
He's good. He likes to be a regular dog outside. So if he's indoors, he kind of knows that something's going on, and he's the man. But he definitely likes to be outdoors and be a normal dog.
He likes to be a normal dog. See, celebrity dogs just like us.
They just want to go to the grocery store without people taking their photo.
Well, I think we have stretched as much as we can to keep Manny on screen because we love having him here. But Manny, I don't know, Manny, actually, this is pretty relaxed. I'm actually impressed.
Is he hired?
He's ruling the roost here.
Honestly, he can come back at any time.
Yeah, please. Yeah. All right, well, Manny and Amber, thanks for being here. And guys, if you're not already, please go follow this pooch on Instagram.
Yeah, what's his Instagram handle?
Manny the French, it's MANNY.
Yeah, so give him a follow.
All right, let's take one last peek at our Steven Spielberg film poll.
You can contribute to this too if you're a big fan.
What would Manny love?
Okay, so it looks like Jurassic Park.
Jaws.
Yeah, Jurassic Park 1.
And E.T.
Manny, what is your favorite? Oh, Manny actually likes Saving Private Ryan? Wow.
He also likes Jaws. He's dressed up as a shark before.
We're now officially interpreting dog grunts for our Steven Spielberg movie.
Hey, look, he said Saving Private Ryan. I think that counts more than all y'all's votes. So.
All y'all.
Is that your favorite?
That's mine, yeah. I'm kind of bummed that it lost.
Okay. Well, dogs make us crazy. Dogs make us happy, and they make us a little bit crazy, as we've seen here. We're going to be asking you a new question of the day tomorrow. Make sure to be back here at noon. Manny, we love you so much. Coming up tomorrow, Will and Grace star Deborah Messing. She is opening up about her vision for the upcoming season of the hit TV show Will and Grace. You may have heard of it. Plus, the Fab Five cast of Queer Eye is here to give us some major style inspiration. You don't want to miss that. The whole gang. This is going to be an exciting morning.
Thank you so much for watching. And since 4th of July is just 2 weeks away, we leave you with some of our favorite celebs sharing their favorite destinations in America. Bye, guys.
My favorite destination in the U.S.,
Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
I really do love Southern California. Not only is it so beautiful, but obviously it's very meaningful to me as well.
My favorite destination in the U.S. is Montana.
I have discovered recently this little town called Cambria.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a mountain town right on the cliff edge with the beach, and just love it. Shouldn't have told everyone that, because now everyone's going to go there.
I have a lot of cool destinations, been to a lot of really cool places, but right now, my wife and I love to go to this this beach area. It's called 30A. It's in Florida. It's on the Panhandle. Beautiful water, white sand, and just a really cool, like, small little community feel.
Las Vegas, guys, which is actually really fun for families, believe it or not, because they have arcades and like really cool family attractions.
My favorite destination in the U.S. is probably anywhere my mother is.
I do have one. It's home. Wherever I go in the U.S., I just want to go home. I like being home.
I have family in Chicago, so it's hard to beat Chicago for me because I get to see my mom and my brother and my friends. So that's a good one.
Hawaii?
Hawaii, where I'm from.
I'm wearing super high heels right now, and I would prefer to have sand between my toes.
My favorite destination in the U.S. is actually where I live, which is Venice Beach.
Mine's home as well in Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee.